Foundation began the first phase of this initiative on built environment sustainability because as a funder wanting to affect positive change in this area, we felt it was important to understand the current state and the strongest levers of influence for accelerating change further. To date, over 100 leaders from all sectors of the built environment have participated, and we aim to continue to work in partnership moving forward.
Despite the effort and great attention that this topic has been given over the last 20 to 30 years, our conclusion is that BC's built environment is generally not becoming more sustainable in many ways. And the reason is that there's great intent. There are great plans, there are great policies out there, there's lots of discussion, but we really do have a big gap between that intent, the plans and policies, and the action and implementation on the ground. So that's really, the reason we wanted to bring you together is to reflect on that and say, okay, how can we really accelerate change, make deeper and more lasting change than we have to date?
You've had to listen to us for a while. We want to listen to you for a while and give you a chance to talk to one another. So what we'd like to do is give you about a half an hour to identify the top 3 interventions for your sector in BC for the next 3 to 5 years. So if you had to turn around tomorrow, someone gave you $100,000 to do a project, what would you do? Where would it fit in those strategic interventions and targeted initiatives?
Our group is Buildings, Infrastructure, and Energy. We overwhelmingly thought SI1. Financial rules need to be aligned with sustainability objectives. We added that that should also include alignment of local economic development opportunities around sustainable built environment.
SI5, build public awareness and support, and TI1, strengthen regional planning.
The first one was SI2, which is coordinating NGOs, government, but we also added private sector and financial sector in conversations around how to get this all done.
So we want to talk about what working together could look like, recognizing that there are already a lot of really good initiatives underway. And there are some really good reasons to work together. We know that collaboration can help improve our understanding of the system so we can have greater impact. And we have had some success at the Real Estate Foundation in supporting collaboration in some of our other focus areas like food systems and water. And we've outlined a model for collaboration we think will work and which we'd like your feedback on today. It consists of 2 layers which together build a social movement in a sustained way. The base layer is the platform for collaboration, which supports more coordinated collective impact initiatives, and together they spark social change.
We actually wanted to start with just a show of hands on a couple of these questions. So, thinking of you as an individual in your organization, do you see the need for this type of collaboration? Ooh, overwhelming, yes. So you all see the need for it, and then the second related part of the question is, would your specific organization be interested in being part of a collaborative structure like this? So put your hand up. So Bob's got 2 hands. Great, so generally yes, and anyone not interested or just doesn't feel like the right fit for your organization? I know there were some people who didn't put their hand up, but you're shy. But generally, it seems like, okay, so this is a good model to pursue. Obviously, there is going to be some further definition and adaptation of it. So given that it sounds like we do need this type of collaboration, does this particular structure that we propose seem like the right structure? Do you have any thoughts on that? What's needed to really make it a success?
This idea as a structure as a model for collaboration makes sense. The question to me is, who and what topic. So if we're going to create collaboration for transformation by definition only happens if you can have depth in your conversation. Otherwise, we will rehash the same general ideas and reinstate the status quo, and it's actually kind of dangerous.
Perhaps the Real Estate Foundation could make a commitment for example, 2 years to be a convener, and then leadership will emerge from that particular convening function. So that's just one idea.
This would be extremely successful in terms of focusing and aligning our efforts. So a little less on learning and more about kind of gathering this potent influence that we can have more collectively together. And all in all, sort of making sure we're focused on action and outcome.
And also a note in terms of making sure that there's diversity represented in the collaborative efforts, because right now in the room there's quite a bit of homogeneity. So how do we bring in other players in the various sectors that are represented, others from geographic areas and diversity and ethnicity and whatnot. And again, reiterating some of the pieces around focus.
And one of the things perhaps that the REFBC could do would be provide funding for some research to take a look at all the societies, and there are thousands, I recognize that, but to see where there's a point where different societies have the same goals, are doing the same work in some situations, and being able to put those two societies together so that they're not competing or duplicating efforts.
A key success factor may be evidence that the collaboration is working. So we need to study the collaboration, whatever form that is and whatever stage it's in. And then also, let's not forget that the whole reason for this collaboration is to improve the healthy built environment. So are we seeing those sustainability metrics change or shift, whether that's the modal split, Rob, that you showed up before, or other indicators? Are we seeing meaningful change in the healthy built environment as a direct result of collaboration? I think because this is untested and uncharted territory, that's going to be key in setting those systems up initially.
Thank you thank you to all of you for some really great ideas, actually. So I think we are super happy with how this has turned out. And, it was great to see that show of hands and that so many people are interested in this form of collaboration. Because we had our doubts. We were like, are people really going to be interested in this? Aren't they in their silos and quite happy? But it sounds like there is a great deal of interest in forming an organization that is that foundational organization that can really look across sectors and make progress on a broader set of issues.